There's a strange truth about modern life. The more comfortable everything becomes on the outside, the quieter something grows on the inside. It's almost ironic. Comfort soothes the body, but slowly dulls the spirit. And that's exactly what many Zen stories try to teach us. That too much safety turns into a gentle kind of sleep, where we stop feeling the spark that once made life vibrant and meaningful. Maybe you've felt this before. Life is fine. Nothing is wrong, yet nothing feels fully alive. Days repeat themselves like silent photocopies, and a small voice inside begins to whisper, "Is this really all there is?" That discomfort tries to teach us something important. The soul doesn't grow inside the walls of control. It grows in presence, freedom, and in the courage to live with a bit of uncertainty. That's where these Zen stories come in. They don't offer shortcuts. Instead, they reveal what stays hidden beneath routine and comfort. How protection becomes a prison, how the obsession with results blinds us, and how real freedom begins the moment we awaken inwardly. Stay with me. One of these stories might be trying to teach you exactly what your spirit has been longing to hear. The first story reveals the difference between merely surviving and truly living. The master walked with his disciple to a stable so perfect it felt almost artificial. Each horse had shelter, abundant food, clean water, even a dedicated veterinarian. It was the kind of setup anyone would call the ideal life. Yet the disciple noticed something unsettling. The animal's eyes were dull, lifeless, dimmed. Despite all that comfort, something essential was missing. And the master waited silently, letting the disciple feel the weight of that realization. Then the master guided him to the open fields, where wild horses ran freely. Muddy, hungry at times, weather-beaten, but undeniably alive. There were no guarantees. Storms came, predators existed, and food wasn't always plentiful. Yet every movement radiated energy, presence, purpose. The disciple sensed it deeply. Comfort had turned the stable horses into safe prisoners, while freedom filled the wild ones with spirit. That's when the master finally spoke. In the stable, they survive. In the field, they live. The disciple felt the phrase land heavily. He recognized the same dimmed expression in many people, trapped in predictable routines, secure careers, controlled choices. People who don't suffer, but don't shine either. People who traded vitality for certainty without noticing the cost. And the more he thought about it, the clearer it became. Happiness doesn't grow from the absence of risk. It grows from the presence of freedom. And that understanding gently opened the door to another lesson. One that doesn't speak about courage alone, but about the inner presence required to walk any real journey. The second story teaches us about the danger of obsession with the end goal and the loss of presence. The master walked slowly while the young man followed with restless urgency, the kind of anxiety found in those who believe enlightenment has a deadline. He wanted to know when he would awaken, which method was faster, how long the journey would take. The more impatient he became, the more years the master added. 10, 15, 20, 30. Every protest revealed the exact reason he wasn't ready. At one point, the master pointed toward a distant mountaintop and said, "When your eyes are fixed only on the summit, you stop seeing the ground beneath your feet." The young man dismissed it as poetic exaggeration until he tripped a moment later on a rock right in front of him. The master calmly finished the teaching, "And those who cannot see their own ground fall." Presence, the young man realized, is the foundation of inner freedom. Without it, every journey collapses. As they walked the trail, he noticed how his mind constantly projected itself into the future, imagining rewards, achievements, shortcuts. A mind in the future creates a life in autopilot, and this applies to everyone. Those seeking success without consistency, peace without self-inquiry, prosperity without discipline. Life doesn't respond to impatience, it responds to presence. The master concluded gently, "The first story speaks of external freedom, which requires courage. This one speaks of internal freedom, which requires presence." And the young man finally understood. Escaping the stable means nothing if he remains imprisoned inside his own mind. Real freedom begins within, and that realization prepared him for an even deeper lesson. The third story teaches us about fear, control, and the surprising freedom we find when we stop running from ourselves. The disciple was walking beside the master when a deep roar echoed through the forest. His heart raced, and without thinking, he ran. The master didn't move. He simply watched, as if he already knew that the young man wasn't fleeing the tiger, but something inside himself. When the disciple finally stopped, breathless, the master asked, "Tell me, were you running from the tiger or from your own mind?" The question struck him. He realized how often fear came not from real danger, but from imagined catastrophes. The master then led him to a clearing. Across the river, a tiger watched them calmly, not attacking, not advancing. The disciple was confused. The master explained, "When you try to control everything, your mind creates monsters to justify the prison. But when you see with presence, what once looked like a threat becomes just another part of the journey." The disciple saw the truth. Fear is not the enemy. Running from it is. On the walk back, the master told him to notice his breath. "See how you try to control it when you're afraid," he said. The disciple had never realized this. Fear tightens the body and mind. Presence loosens both. The master suggested small daily acts of courage. Telling the truth, starting something new, revisiting a forgotten dream, making a postponed decision. "This is how you shrink the tigers of the mind," he said. "One small act of freedom at a time." As they reached the monastery, the master added, "A real tiger can only kill you once. The tiger in your mind kills you every day." The disciple understood that the deepest comfort we cling to isn't physical, it's psychological. And avoiding fear only strengthens it. Real freedom begins when we stop running and start looking. And this realization led naturally to the final reflection, the one that ties all stories into a single truth. In the end, each Zen story here tries to teach us something simple but easy to forget. Absolute comfort doesn't nourish the spirit, it numbs it. The stable horse tries to teach us that survival without freedom becomes a soft prison. The young man on the mountain tries to teach us that rushing without presence turns any journey into anxiety. And the monk and the tiger tries to teach us that the fear we avoid becomes the one that controls us. So the real question is, which of these traps have you been falling into without realizing? Take an honest look at your life. Where have you chosen the stable when, deep down, your soul longs for the open field? Where has your obsession with reaching the summit made you ignore the ground beneath your feet? And what fear have you been running from that, if faced, could finally return your sense of freedom, courage, and presence? The next story might be the one your spirit has been waiting for. Share in the comments which story struck you the deepest. Your insight might be exactly what someone else needs to wake up. And if you want to keep growing, learning, and expanding your awareness, subscribe to the channel, activate notifications, and keep walking with me into the Innerverse.